Good morning students, this is Aditya. Please like, share and subscribe to my YouTube channel for more classes relating to the auditing. See students, in the last class we have discussed about contents of audit report SA-700, SA-701, SA-705 and SA-706 and SA-720. In the current class we are going to discuss about SA-710, that is the comparative information, that is the corresponding figures and comparative financial statements. See students, SA-710 comparative information, that is the corresponding figures and comparative financial statements. What is the meaning of comparative information? That is comparative information consists of corresponding figures and comparative financial statements. Corresponding figures means previous year figures are given, that is in 2017 2000 rupees and 2018 2500 rupees. These two are compared, that is what corresponding figures means previous year figure, that is 2000 rupees of 2017 are considered as previous year figures. So the auditor will report only on opinion will be given only on current period, that is the corresponding figures relating to the current period only the auditor will report. See students, in the case of comparative financial statements, comparative financial statements means entire set of financial statements of the previous year are given, that is balance sheet, profit and loss account, cash flow statements and notes to accounts. That is the 2018 balance sheet figures are compared with the 2017 balance sheet, and profit and loss account of 2018 are compared with 2017. Cash flow statements will compare with 2017 and notes to accounts will compare with 2017. That is what the entire set of financial statements of the current period will be compared with the previous year comparative financial statements. That is comparative financial statements means entire set of financial statements of previous year are given. In corresponding figures, only figures of previous year are checked. Okay students, opinion will be given on all the periods of entire set of financial statements. Okay students, let's see the audit procedures relating to the comparative information. See students, audit procedures relating to comparative information. See students, agreeing the balances with the previous period, that is students, the opening balances of the current period will be the closing balances of the previous period. Whether the opening balance of current period are consistent with the closing balances of the previous year, the auditor should check by using audit procedures. See students, next point is whether the accounting policies of the current period are consistent with the previous period. See students, in 2018 one accounting policy is applied, in 2017 same accounting policy is applied, then we can say that there are consistency. But in 2017 one accounting policy is applied, but in 2018 another accounting policy is applied, then we cannot say that there are consistency in accounting policy. In such case, we will quantify the effect in disclosed in the audit report. See students, check whether accounting policies are consistently obtained. If not, quantify the effect and disclose them in the audit report. Okay students. See students, next point is whether the auditor has aware that misstatements in the comparative information, then the auditor will perform audit procedures to obtain sufficient and appropriate audit evidence. See students, if the auditor become aware of misstatements in comparative information, then the auditor will perform sufficient and appropriate audit evidence. Then the auditor will perform audit procedures to obtain sufficient and appropriate audit evidence. So students, if there are misstatements in the comparative information, then auditor will perform sufficient and appropriate audit evidence to obtain. Okay students, next, if the auditor of previous year or auditor of the current period, see students, if he is the auditor of, see students, if auditor of current period is also the auditor of the previous period, then the auditor will check the subsequent events as per SA-560, because in the previous year he would have issued modified opinion, because the previous year financial statements are material misstatement, and he will check the subsequent events, that is after issuing modified opinion, because previous year he had given modified opinion because of misstatements in the comparative information of the previous year, and whether the misstatements has been resolved or not, he will check. That is what subsequent events as per SA 560. whether the management has resolved the misstatements or not. The auditor will check whether will check written representation from management if the corresponding figures included in the comparative financial statements. See students, the auditor will take written representation from management if there are comparative information included in the current financial statements. Okay students. Next, audit report, that is audit report relating to comparative information, that is corresponding figures and comparative financial statements. See students, when there are misstatements in the comparative financial statements, that is there are misstatements in the comparative financial statements and the misstatements in the corresponding figures, then the auditor will report accordingly. See students, misstatements in corresponding figures, then reported last year, that is misstatements reported last year, then the management is resolved, then the auditor will not report. If the management has not resolved the misstatements, then the auditor will modify the current year opinion. And if the last year the auditor has not reported the misstatements, then the current year auditor will modify the current year opinion with respect to corresponding figures. If the auditor of the predecessor, that is audited by predecessor auditor, see current year is not auditor, that is current year is audited by different auditor and previous year is audited by different auditor, that is audited by predecessor auditor. In such case, the current year auditor in other matter paragraph, that is SA-706, will specify name of the predecessor auditor, type of opinion and date of audit report. See students, in the case of unaudited, the auditor will specify in other matter paragraph SA-706 that figures are unaudited. Okay students. See students, misstatements in corresponding figures reported last year, resolved by the management in the current year, no reporting. If not resolved by management, modify the current year audit report. If not reported last year relating to misstatements of the last year are not reported. So okay students, then modify the current year audit report with respect to comparative, that is corresponding figures audited by predecessor auditor, that is current year auditor is not the auditor of the previous period, then the auditor in other matter paragraph, that is as per SA-706, specify name of the predecessor auditor, type of opinion and date of audit report. Okay students, if the previous year corresponding figures are unaudited, then the auditor in other matter paragraph will specify previous year corresponding figures are unaudited. See students, misstatements in corresponding, that is comparative financial statements. If there is a misstatements in comparative financial statements, then in the case of difference in opinion by the auditor, then the auditor will specify in other matter paragraph as per SA-706 reasons for difference in opinion among the auditors. In the case of misstatements in comparative financial statements, then there is a difference in opinion between the auditors according to comparative financial statements, then the auditor will report on other matter paragraph as per SA-706 reasons for difference in audit opinion. See students, if the auditor of predecessor auditor, that is current year auditor is not the auditor of the previous year, then the previous year is audited, then the auditor will specify if there are misstatements in the comparative financial statements, he will specify the name of predecessor auditor, type of opinion and date of report. If the previous year, that is the previous year comparative financial statements are unaudited, then the auditor will specify that previous year comparative financial statements are unaudited. Thank you students. Please like, share and subscribe to my YouTube channel for more updates relating to the CA final auditing classes. Thank you.